Kia ora. My life has been revolving around the two worlds of art and architecture. I'm going to first talk about architecture. This first house I designed for my friends Lee and Sally 10 years ago in a little place called Linton. The house, as you can see, is sleek, it's modern, and it sits nicely on top of the hill. It has 180-degree views from the hills to the countryside, and it has great indoor-outdoor flow. Also, great indoor-outdoor flow for wind. If anyone knows Palmy and Wellington, it's bloody windy. So the whole house is designed around the central courtyard and this kowhai tree. The next place is for my mate Davo. That's Davo on the right, walking his dog. I used to flat with Davo, and he was a builder. He collected heaps of timber over his lifetime and said to me, Matt, we have to use it all up in this house. We simply ripped the roof off the existing house and plonked another level on top. Out the back, we just ripped the back wall down and put a set of stairs into a double-height living space, and it opened out to the courtyard. So all the timber was used up inside the stairwell, looking up to the sky, and also in the front porch, looking out to the Petersham water tank. So, what's it like to work as an architect? Well, I don't really know. I'm not a registered architect, so no one here from the NZAA can sue me, please. I'm an architectural designer until I get registered. So what's it like to do that job? Well, more and more, there's a lot of constraints. You have hardly any spare time, but the good thing is you'll have money. But working for yourself, you never know when the next job's coming. You never know when the client's going to pay your invoice. And I've had to live off noodles and tuna for quite a long time until I got paid again. Another frustration for me is spending all day on a bloody computer. I get really sick of CAD. You know, sometimes you do feel like a CAD monkey, and you wish you were born years before this, before computers were invented. Another frustration with being an architect is sometimes you're really stoked on a job, you think you're God, you're going to go to heaven, and then you have to tackle building consents. Moreover, there's a new rule that you have to abide by. So you think, man, do I really want to be an architect? Maybe I want to be an artist, but if you can't sell any of your work, you're going to struggle and probably go to hell. So you think, maybe I'll give this architecture thing a go again. So my whole life has been this cycle. So what have we lost in architecture? Does modern architecture not say much these days? Do we want more from architecture? Do we need more from architecture? I don't know. Do we need more art? I'm from Palmy, and this is my little painting I did about Palmy, Wide Streets, Narrow Minds. I actually love Palmy, and I love the people there. They're probably the most real people you'll ever meet in your whole life. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not dissing you, Palmy. This is my little tribute to Auckland. This is Auckland's hierarchy of needs. Obviously, at the top of the pyramid has to be SPQR, the place to be seen in Auckland, right? In the middle, we've got Burger King. You can go get a feed without, walking, jump in your car, you know. And then at the bottom, for the introverts, you've always got Mumite on toast. And for the millennials, chuck some avo on there, For me, surfing has been one of the most important things to keep me balanced. So sometimes life wasn't so bad behind the 8 ball. And art will set you free. Well, it will sometimes, but if you don't sell any work, it'll set you broke. I've often found things on the street and reused them into artworks. This is a sculpture I made called Nothing Interesting on the TV. And digital works, sometimes you shouldn't give way, maybe give a bit more. So what's it like to work as an artist? Well, there's hardly any constraints. You'll have a lot of time. The only issue is you probably won't have much money. For me, I wonder sometimes, is something missing from the fine arts? For me, it's people and place, and that's through a social connection. These new projects I'll talk about today try to use new technology so I don't get bored. They try to bring people together. They have an element of performance, and they have to be new ideas. These projects sit in this red zone. So for me, architecture's in the middle. It's more constrained every day. There's more limits. For me, the creativity there is shrinking. Art on the outside, anything goes these days. It's expanding. So for me, I'm interested in these projects that sit in the middle. Religion, politics, ethnicity, race, death, sex, drugs, all the things you shouldn't be doing, they're the ones I'm interested in doing. To find the truth, or my version of the truth. So how can I make these projects between art and architecture happen? For me, it's been teaching. I'm a professional teaching fellow at the Auckland Architecture School. This is the building. That's not important. What's important is what's inside. These are some students and critics and from a crit. So it's the people. The people make it. The staff, who are absolutely amazing, and the students who continually inspire me and hope I can inspire them. So for me, teaching's my bread and butter. And more importantly, it's my rock. It gives me stability. It lets me slow cook projects over a long time so I can really design it as I want it by myself with no time constraints. I'm going to talk about some of those projects. The real pyramid schema. This project started with this drawing on the left, which shows the pyramid scheme. Obviously, the people at the top, the 1%, they're pretty happy. People in the middle, yeah, they're okay. But those people down the bottom are struggling. You know, it's hard out there. I thought to myself, you know, I obviously can't jump up the pyramid, but I can try to be happy. There's been pyramid schemes throughout the Egyptian times, through Wall Street, and we're in one in New Zealand with capitalism. As we all know, house prices are going up, rent's going up. It's getting tough, you know, and I thought to myself, well, what can I do? Well, I decided to build a little pyramid and sit on the street, talk to random people, and try to cheer them up. I had a quick on-the-spot conversation with them and basically said, what makes you happy in life? Did a little drawing, passed it out the mouth, and it's a reminder for them when times are tough, you can always go back to things. So over that night, most people said, family's the most important, friends, food, pets, and nature. The house of 9,783 plastic bags, house for homeless. This project came about when the government was cracking down on single-use plastic bags. I ran a sort of collection with my friends and family to try to grab them for a project. I had no idea what this project was going to be. I live with my girlfriend in the city, opposite City Mission, and, you know, just getting bread and milk, you know, every day. I'm always talking to a homeless person, and they sleep rough. Thought, geez, what can I do about this? So I designed this small little house for them with a little queen-size bed in it. I colour sorted all the plastic bags into the framing to create a stained glass light effect, and I slept in it for the night down in the viaduct. On the last night, some drunk person jumped up and kicked one of the roof panels. It was my first experience of having public art destroyed by someone that probably doesn't care or was probably drunk. And after that, the house went to my friend Joe Michaels for Vinnie's cabana. And this is Flo, his little sister, saying goodbye to it as it's gone up to the Kaipara Sculpture Garden, where it is at the moment. It's there till October, so if anyone here wants to go and have a sleep in it, go up and check it out. The Vitruvian Tunnel. This work was based on the drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, the Vitruvian Man. It shows him with his arms spread out, which is the square of his height and arm span, centered through his groin, and which is the male. And the circle is the feminine, which is the arm and leg when you do this, centered through your navel. Well, you know, I've done two projects, got one to go. What am I going to put around it? I had to do another triangle. So this is the last triangle project, though. I didn't want to be known as the Triangle Man. So yeah, what does that equilateral triangle mean? You know, you got the male, the female. Is it the Holy Trinity? Who knows? So we built it with a lot of help from my good friends, Scott Payne, Angus Muir, Guy there, my mate Kyle and me, and I'm definitely probably the worst builder around. I can screw things, but I'm a designer, not a builder. People loved it for the event. They could be their own Vitruvian man and connect to the history, or Vitruvian lady. Lots of people came through. It was a really great experience, and one night, this couple got engaged in there, which was really sweet. Hopefully they're still together. And then after that, it's been at different light festivals around the North Island. It was lately at Explore Music Festival for the ravers Te Pare in. The skyscraper I could never build, architect's ego tower, which is right there, if you spot it there. This project was a tribute to my mate Rob on the right. Rob's dad, Terry, gave him this book, Architecture of the 20th Century, when he started high school in 1990 at Palmerston North Boys High School, where we went to school together. He sadly passed away when I was 19, and his dad wrote in the book, "To Liggs, the next great New Zealand architecture, build large skyscrapers into the sky and houses in the countryside in remembrance of Robbie," Terry Knight. So I thought to myself, holy guacamole, there isn't a chance I'll ever get to design a skyscraper in Auckland, but I could design a model of one. So I collected up my dad's old Meccano sets, went on Trade Me, found some more, and built the ego tower. Rob hated people with big egos. I built it for Art Week, and I decided, well, what can I do? What can I do to prove this is the tallest building in the world? Well, just build the largest scale rule in the world at 1 to 500. You know, and every iconic building in the world has one of those little miniatures you can buy to remind you of your holiday. And it's also good sometimes to keep your ego in check once you get a big head. And obviously what you put on top of an architect's tower has to be ego. The last project I'll talk about today is Te Waru's pa. I whakapapa back to him on my mother's side, who is Ngati Ruanui. He designed and built a pa just 20 minutes north of Whanganui in Tauranga Ika. This is a plan of the pa site, which was absolutely amazing. It's a diamond shape, symmetrical, so it's safe to protect, and it's 300 metres in width and height. It utilised double trenches and double palisades, and the crazy thing is, the marae there on the right, we don't know where it is. I asked them, they looked behind it, they couldn't find it there, and they seem to think it's in the front somewhere, maybe where the road cuts through. So my goal one day is to get ground penetrating radar and take it right through that site to try to find out where it was. After that, I'm going to build a scale model of it from locally sourced tōtara from the area and surround it with pine seats, and then build a little whare around it and gift it to the marae. So for me, these projects that sit in between art and architecture, they make me happy. I can do that through teaching, and maybe if you're lost out there, hopefully one day you can find your rock too. Thank you.